Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show with the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line, but first and foremost, got to give a shout-out to our buddies over at Ticket King. You can see it over there in the top right corner, lowest ticket prices, and of course, Wisconsin-based. They got Green Bay and Milwaukee offices. If you're going to buy tickets from Packer fans, man. I'm just saying. It's the way to go. All right, so kind of a weird day today. We went out to a Christmas, Easter, birthday party thing, just a big family get-together. I didn't get anything done, and driving home, I was like, you know what? I'm in a weird mood, man. We're just going to do it, all right? We're just going to go ahead and frickin' do this thing. I'm staying up. I got coffee. I got my drinks. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm just feeling it, man. I'm going to stay up. I might not sleep tonight. I don't give a crap. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to say that, and then when, 11 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to pass out. All right. So, you see the phone number there, 608-501-0718. I'm not going to answer when you call. It's just a, one of those voicemail things. By the way, Devondre Campbell out the door. Didn't get a chance to talk about that. Probably won't either tomorrow, but that's kind of big news. I'm not going to say I didn't see it coming. It's kind of 50-50 on that whole thing, but Devondre's out, so linebacker becomes obviously an even higher priority than it already was. So got some work to do there, and free agency is, it's a coming. But anyways, this isn't about that. This is about Omar. Tell me, by the way, if there's no audio for you. I just want to make sure everything's working.
What's up? This is Omar the Firefighter. How y'all doing?
What's up? X-Files Marathon.
I ain't going to say quick call, but just calling. I'm late as hell on this, so
right.
I'm sure y'all already talked about it. People talked about it. But the safeties in free agency is it's plenty. It's just like the running backs.
Yeah.
And I know everybody wants to get the top pick and everything like that, or like the best player, but if we can't get like the best player for that, I think even settling and getting even one of the top names cheap, like the last top name to get picked, should want less money because nobody picked him. I think that will really help out and get a veteran and then draft as well. You get one in the draft for each position, like get a veteran safety, whether it's the top two, or get like maybe the fifth or fourth or fifth, something like that, and then get a rookie and have them battle it out. And then the same thing for running back. We got Aaron Jones, so we didn't spend too much money, but if we can get like Josh Jacobs or somebody like that, I'm really big on him versus everybody else. If you can get him the cheaper than Saquon and all the other ones, I think that's a good pickup. So I would definitely do that. I'll pay him money, and I know you can draft running back, but I think he'll be great. So I would definitely recommend that. Second thing is, I know you play games. I got a PS5, and I know you normally on the computer. But it's a game called Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
And I've got that game. I want to say I played it. I have like 2 weeks or something, 2 or 3 weeks. And man, it's like Starship Troopers.
Okay.
And Terminators.
It's a good song by
put together. Like you're fighting either Terminators or you're fighting like the bugs from like Starship Troopers. And it's a funny game, but it's action as well and got cross-play. So, you need to definitely get it. And we could get a team of 4 people.
I'm down. Let's do
and go
it.
to a planet and
Let's
then start killing me with robots or bugs. It's real
Yeah.
sweet. But
Down,
for
man.
anybody who has the game, just send me a message so I know, because I might
Starship
not accept
Troop-
all
oh, wait.
requests.
What's it called?
But my PlayStation Network ID to send me a friend request
Helldivers.
is Psycho Crazy.
Psycho.
So it's SYKE-O-crazy with a K, and just like me. So y'all can send me a message and just be like, hey, I heard you on the Packernet podcast or something, and I'll accept it. But anyway, go Pack, go.
SYKE-O-crazy, and it's Helldivers, right? Helldivers, and it's similar to Starship Trooper. Is that right?
I think I'm going to start cutting carbs.
Don't
I need
play
to
ads. I'm trying to do something cool on my freaking show, and you play ads. Starship Trooper. All right. Oh, yeah. Free agency. So the Bears already sniped one of the safeties. I saw they had him in, and then I just saw today that they signed him. But, yeah, man, I don't know. You can't foresee what's going to happen in the draft. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to stand back in a big picture sense and try to micromanage it. Like, what if we got a safety, like not two, but just get one, and then we'll draft a safety. But the thing is, you have to assume that the chips are not going to fall your way. There's a chance that you're just not going to really hit on a safety, maybe until later or whatever. So you have to go into free agency with the mindset of anything that is catastrophic has to be solved. Now, we can kind of go low end and hope that things go the way we want in the draft. But we have to solve this because we can't be in a situation where we get into the draft and it's like all our chips are in. We have to do something here. So then we start getting drastic. You got to trade up. You're overpaying for guys. So we'll see. I mean, I just think you can't really micromanage to that extent. You have to just assume. And I kind of think that is similar with like the salary cap and how that's going. Freeing up a ton of money. It's like, why? It's like, well, it's not really because we know 100%. It's just a matter of we need to be in a position of maneuverability in case, right? I don't know the situation with Bakhtiari, but if he stays, we have to have this money, da-da-da-da-da-da. So, that kind of stuff. All right, where are we at here? Steve in Alaska.
Hey, Ryan. Steve in Alaska.
What's up, man?
Out doing my thing, walking around out in the wind and the cold. But I was listening to the podcast from John Middlecoff, and he was doing an interview with Spielman, Rick Spielman. Used to be the GM for the Vikings and all that.
Oh, Spielman, yeah. He does a lot of that stuff now.
Through the course of what their interview was, he brought up something that kind of corroborated? I'm saying that word wrong. That's right. But corroborated the information that you're putting out when you were talking about the value of the different drills that they put them to in the combine and all that. When you had your value charts that you were talking about, I still haven't seen them, but I can visualize those. But he was talking about how his people, when they got together and he was talking about corners specifically and the value that the 40 has for corners and how, judging how fast they are or whether they will be successful or not. And his people came up with the opinion that it's not the whole 40, it's actually the second 20 of the 40 and how fast the player is there that better judges whether or not he's going to be successful. And I was thinking about it, and it makes sense because it's not how fast you come out of the blocks and whether you can keep up with a guy out of the blocks. It's whether once you're downfield and the ball's been thrown, if that receiver's gotten a little bit away from you, how fast is that guy once he's already at running speed of carrying on that running speed and even gaining more speed. So I think there's a lot to that whole package of information that you put out that, in the years to come, they're going to start looking at, the skills drills that they put out and probably changing some of them. And they're going to start talking about them differently because people are starting to find the values in them, but the values in them aren't what we've always thought they were in the past. So, good put out there because, I'm finding other people talking about it since you've been talking about it. Another thing, if you do want some fudge, you got my phone number.
Yeah.
You just have to send me a text of a place that I can send you a package of fudge, and I'll send you a little care package down with some stuff. I don't mind. I have lots and lots of it. All right, bud. You take it easy. Go Pack.
I'm gonna hit you up with that, man. I'm gonna get some Alaskan fudge. We're gonna do it up, man. Maybe throw some ribs in the box. I literally would be fine with that. The heck are we talking about? Oh, yeah. So I haven't heard that before specifically in terms of, catching the last 20 of the 40. Usually it's, that's why they have the 10-yard and the 20-yard split because they care about the earlier portions, getting off, fast get off or whatever. But I really like, they showed that the gauntlet or whatever where it's you're running and you're catching side to side. It just seems like if you want to know how fast they are, put them in a football situation and let's see how fast they are. And then you got, for example, the miles per hour. It's interesting. And I'm going to forget the guy's name. I always have somebody in the comments remind me. But the guy who was really slow in the combine but hit 20 miles an hour was the fastest and best in that drill. He ran straight down the line and everything else. And his draft stock is tanking. It's like, wait a minute. So you're waiting. I'm not saying the NFL is doing this, but the media at the very least, and maybe it's coming from NFL sources, I don't know. But the perception is, well, his 40 time is more important than what we just saw him do, where he was the fastest guy on a football field doing football stuff. But he was terrible on the 40, so we're going to tank his stock. I mean, it blows my mind. In my mind, he's the sleeper. He's the guy, I mean, you wish that you were the only one with that technology that could see that, because everyone else is going to say, oh, he's so slow, and you're like, bro, that's similar to what happened with, this is so stupid. I don't know a single person's name on our entire freaking team. Jaden Reed, right? Jaden Reed's 40 time was like, whatever, and the Packers are like, bro, he runs in the 4.3s. Like, shut up, I don't care about that stupid 40 time thing. So, yeah, I just, the whole thing is stupid. It's why I said I wish they would just put the miles per hour over everything. Do it on the 40. Do it on this. Do it on everything. Just for that. And if there's any other metrics, how quickly you can change direction or whatever, I don't know. Put a little clock on it. Just because I feel like those are the more valuable numbers. So let us see it. But they're so secretive about it. They've got this whole, NFL next-gen stats. And they've got all this stuff. They've got all this technology that can track their movements. They can track their speed. They can track every single thing. Just give it to us. Why? It's like this little thing. They give you a little thing. Oh, check this out. Oh, we happen to have the... Show me everybody. Give me the information. I want it. It's freaking annoying. It's like you have this... You want to entice us. Right? If you want to charge me. I'll pay it. I don't care. I want the information. It's like Amazon. They're like, oh, why don't we put this on TV? And it's amazing. And the NFL is like, oh. You have the ability to take your product and elevate it to the next level. And instead, you're just kind of like, well, here's a little sample. Here's a little taste over here. Like, oh, we're going to put this together for you. Bro, just give me the whole freaking thing. I don't understand why you're putting this, like, it's not even behind a paywall. They're just like, we're not going to show you. You don't need to know it. It's for us to secretly sit around and watch cool stuff. But you people, you don't need to see cool stuff. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Ryan, Steve again. I just got home, and I was thinking on my last little bit of my walk there about a question that I wanted to ask you, because I'm kind of wondering what your opinion is on it. When you're looking for a player, what ranks higher for you? Physical attributes is, in other words, just overall physical talent, which I know is high. I understand that. Or individual want to. And when I say that, what I mean is if you get a guy whose physical attributes are, somewhere between a 7 and an 8, he's a 7.7, 7.4, solid player, not great, but, worth having around. But the drive is, like a 9.5, 9.9. Or a guy whose talent is, like a 9.3, 9.4. Huge talent, just amazing talent, but the drive, like a 5.5, 5.8. Which player would you prefer? I personally, I get you kind of need to have both, but if I'm choosing a team full of the 7.5 guys with the super high drive, and then trying to find a couple of talent studs just to throw in there, more than having, trying to build a team of talent studs who just don't have a whole lot of drive, and then having to fill everything else in with whoever you get, because most talented players cost more. Even though that's a side part of it, it's still part of my thinking in my mind. But that's my question to you. When you're rating a guy, what's more important, how much drive they have, or their talent level, or, how do you rate those two things? All right, man. Thanks much. Talk to you later. Bye.
I feel like we're talking about the same guy. There's two guys that arrive at the same point for different reasons. You got one guy that's 100% of their low ceiling, and another guy who has a high ceiling but doesn't meet it because he's not quite up to snuff or whatever. I think about it from the Packers standpoint. I think they're always going to go for the attributes. They're going to find a guy like Lucas Van Ness and say, if we can get 100% out of that guy, he's going to be a superstar, right? As opposed to, look, he tries hard, but his ceiling is just, this is it. Like, this is as good as he's ever going to be. So I know the try hard stuff is really important. You want a guy that wants to put everything in it, but at the same time, I mean, you're really good at bunting, but are we just going to bunt every time, or are we going to, take a frickin' swing, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, because, it's all gradations. It depends on each individual person, and, I mean, obviously if a guy has no want to, he's got a terrible attitude, is no point, but I think generally I want the guy with the really high ceiling, and we're going to try to squeeze and get as much out of that as we possibly can. Yeah, I was looking at the comments here. Too old for this says, I don't game. I'm pretty much Jim Halpert playing COD while gaming. I was trying to find the YouTube clip of Andy Bernard saying, the game is over. I am going to shoot you. I am really going to shoot you right in the face. Oh, man, we got some draft talk going on in the comments. We got Ladd. Everybody wants in on Ladd. We got DeJean at 25, Ladd at 41, Dylan Lauby with our second. Wow, that's early. I would like to have him. I don't know if he needs to go that early. Jake Chaving says, Keon Coleman crushed the gauntlet. So natural. Yeah, I think that's who I'm talking about. But, again, it's like you're doing a fake drill that maybe you didn't train for and you didn't do very well. Then you do football stuff, and you're the fastest guy in the field. And you're a big dude and everything. Who gives a crap about the 40? I don't understand. Yeah, Keon Coleman, thank you. Puka and Puka's another one. And they said that. They said Puka was the same guy. His 40 was not great, but he freaking crushed the gauntlet. That's a no-brainer. I'm not saying if you're good at the gauntlet, you're guaranteed to be good at football. I'm saying if I have a circus act over here that has nothing to do with football, I mean, not really, and, some people train and study real hard to be good at this one thing, and some people don't, and whatever. And then over here, it's like, I'm going to ask you to do stuff that you're actually going to do on the job, and you crush this, and you suck at the circus act. Who gives a crap about the 40 time? I don't get it. And Troy Franklin at 441 was running like 13 miles per hour and retreating at the catch point. Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, why don't... I was always surprised by, you got these guys that run 4.3s, 4.2 something, whatever, like just unbelievable 40 times speed. It feels impossible to me that they're not good at football, but most of them don't pan out. How can you not sail past these guys? It's just different, man. You get on there, you got somebody in your face, you're trying to run routes, you're working on, it just doesn't translate. It doesn't. I mean, if it was that easy, you could get a guy that ran a 4.25, just send him sailing, Pat, and the corner would just be huffing it, he'd never catch him. That's what we envision in our mind, and that just doesn't happen. So, I mean, I'm not saying, look, if we get a guy that's got stupid speed, I'm just gonna be gassing it up. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna crush everybody. But it's just because we're having fun. I don't know. Too old for this says, tie me on the 40 and I'll put up a solid 5 seconds, but tie me in the game and I might hit a Michael Scott 15. Oh, the Michael Scott references. Usain Bolt, the fastest man ever, isn't the best at the 40. But he can hit unreal speeds without trying. Usain Bolt, Packer fan, by the way. Big Packer fan. We love Usain Bolt over here. Mike Hebering with the $5 dono. Thanks, buddy. He says, late night taco bar. Bro, I would, if it wasn't like gross and inappropriate and hard to do the show, I would love to have just a big old plate of tacos here. You know what I mean? Maybe if I had a co-host, it'd be like, you do everything. I'm going to sit here and smash tacos. I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys are into that. I don't know. We can get weird with it. I don't care. Donald Krieger says, I haven't been this excited for free agency. And dude, I'm not kidding. I think that's part of the reason I'm all gassed up here. I don't know why I keep using that phrase. I've said it like 10 times. I guess that's my new thing. Gassed up. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be here tomorrow all day. That's why I'm up late. I'm thinking like as soon as we see like the free agency thing starting, live stream. We're just going to do it, man. We're going to frickin' have some fun. We'll see. I don't know. I'm jacked up now. Tomorrow I'm going to be tired and cranky, and I'm not going to do anything. There's going to be so many in the hunts for us this year. Yeah, that's true. Too old for this says, I don't think Goot has options other than to be active in free agency with this young team and the immediate potential. I think so, too, and they're making a lot of space. In the cap, and they know they have holes that they have to fill. He's going to take some swings. I mean, it might not be, generational thing or whatever, but they're going to be active. They're going to do some stuff. It may not be day one. I don't know. Garrett says, I'm all in for Jordan Fuller. That's sort of like if you could pick the dream combo, that might be it for me, Jordan Fuller and Xavier McKinney. I'm not positive, but I mean, I like Cameron Curl. I'd have to see the money. You know what I mean? Maybe Xavier McKinney's out of the league as far as expensive, but that would be a fun combo. Ian says, hope Chop Robinson gets to pick 25. Bro, I would just lose it if we got Chop Robinson. I'd be so excited. Packers Total Access Clayton with a $5 dono. Who's your perfect linebacker pick and in what round? All right, let's pull this up real quick because I forgot everybody's name already. And I'm kind of, again, I got to run through them again. I've only watched one game each, but I'm kind of on the outside with this. So I'm kind of out on Edgerrin. I'm not super big on Peyton. Tommy Eichenberg, I love as a free safety. And I can go back to and tell you like what game I watched just so we're kind of on the same page because sometimes you watch games and it's like, eh. But Tommy Eichenberg I got really excited about. As far as what round, I mean, if we took him in the second round, I wouldn't be bothered by it. I don't think that's where his value is right now, as you can see at 126. That might be one of those things they draft in the second round and you're like, what, are you an idiot? I mean, that was Jaden Reed. He was outside of the top 100. So I would be the only one excited. Everyone else would be upset. And I really like Jalen Ford. He's more of a middle linebacker type, but I just loved his processor was going. Like he really got me fired up. So those are my two guys. As far as round, I mean, I want a good value. If they're fourth, fifth round guys, fine, take them there. But I'll just say that those are the two guys I watched. And you know how you watch, and there's just kind of that, you're kind of going through the prospects. It's like, okay, I don't know, like. He seems like a guy. Like, I don't freaking, there's nothing special, and he missed that tackle. And then all of a sudden you watch tape of a guy, and it just hits. Just something just clicks, and you're like, ooh, I like that. You feel like you don't even know what you're looking for, like this is boring, and then you just see that guy, and it's like, bro, there's something here. That was Jalen Ford and Tommy Eichenberg for me. Garrett Stritz, thanks again, Clayton. Garrett Stritzel says, you miss every draft pick that you don't take. Goot. All right, I tell you what. Why don't we take a break? We got obviously more calls to do. We got more comments. We're going to come back. You all go to Ticket King, buy some tickets. All right? I don't care where you go. Just buy some freaking tickets. All right? I'm sick of telling you people that you got to buy tickets and go enjoy your life. All right? I told you I'm in a stupid mood. We'll take a break. We'll be back with snacks.
Hey! Oh! What's up, buddy?
What's up?
I told you I was going to call you every week.
Love you, Snacks.
The season was done. You know how many times I've called? None.
Yeah, you're a douche.
So I apologize for that.
That's all right.
Usually a pretty honest, truthful guy. I don't know why I didn't come through on that.
You're
but
a piece of crap.
I've really been a lot going on. They've, restructured Gary and restructured Smith. There's been a couple whispers about AJ and, Dylan, and Jordan Love pops up every once in a while. You'll see him or say something, but pretty slow. I mean, not really a lot to discuss, but I think it's about to get a little busy here soon. I do kind of, again, maybe I am a bad person because I love listening to Chicago.
Snacks.
Everybody's just been nuts about it. That's pretty blatant what they're going to do. But did they really sign Jalen Johnson to that contract? Maybe that was the right thing to do, but I wouldn't have done that. I'm also not a GM and maybe the dumbest guy in 5 counties, but still.
Let's take a look.
I just love that they're going to screw it up. That's really all that I enjoy because it's going to happen. And I can't wait. Well, that's it, man. I don't really have much, but I really just wanted to give a call and a buzz. I'm going to start chiming in here a little bit more. Sorry, I changed gigs. I've been traveling a little bit. Kids soccer picked up. All the excuses.
Yep.
So I hope everybody's doing well.
Freaking excuses.
I'll start tuning in again and start getting back to it. All right, brother. Be safe.
So, do you recall they had a safety in Chicago not too long ago, and he wasn't very good. And then in 2018, Chicago had an amazing team, and everybody outperformed what they were. Nobody was as good. Maybe Khalil Mack was kind of on par with where he was because he's a stud. But you had like a Mukamura, who was like a top 5 corner, and like all these guys, like everybody was a stud. And their safety, I think, was like the number 1 safety in football. Amos was like a top 5 also, but he was number 1. And they signed this safety to an ungodly contract. Just stupid contract. And guess what? He went back to being what he was after 2018, which is not very good. He's a mediocre piece of crap, right? He had like one more good year, probably 2021, 2022, I think. Something like that. It was entirely contingent on picks. Like he had 2 years. 1 year he had like 7 picks. The next year he had like 4. Those were his 2 good years. If he doesn't get picks, he's not very good. And as I look at Jalen Johnson, I'm going, let's see, what do we got here? We got a guy that for 3 years has demonstrated he's not very good at football. And then, strangely, in a contract year, he's really good. He's really good. That's so weird. And then he gets paid, and Bears fans run their mouth like, oh, you paid Jair, and our guy's better than Jair. Bro, I'm just saying, let me remind you about another thing. So I was right about the safety. I said, he's not that good, you overpaid him. And now he's out because his contract was too high. So he's now available and no longer on the team. That was a stupid decision. Last year, the Bears took a really big swing on a linebacker, because that's what you want to do. When you have more cap space than anybody else, you blow it all on linebackers. That's what the data shows. So they spent all their money on a freaking linebacker, and I looked at it and I said, I'm not so sure about this linebacker. In fact, let's see if we can just go take a look. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's put some, let's put a little meat on these bones here. So they got this linebacker. Where is he? Not TJ Edwards, not Jack. Where are you, Chief? There he is, way down there. So if you would do me a favor and take a look right here. You see this? That's called bullcrap. That's what that is. So, if you're not listening on audio, because I'm not going to upload this on the podcast tomorrow. If you're here on Twitter, X, if you're here on YouTube, Facebook, you guys are awesome. You get a special show, and nobody else gets it. You see that right there, though? That 81.9. Let's look at this, though. He was bad at football. He was bad at football. He was really bad at football. He was really bad at football. Amazing at football. So what do the Bears do? Because their GM's a freaking idiot. He goes, whoa, look how good he was in 2022. So he gives them all the money, and Bears fans ran their mouth like, oh, you don't understand. In this system, you got to have that guy. So it makes sense. It's not stupid to pay all that money to a linebacker. It's actually really smart, and we're going to be so good now. And I'm like, but what if that was kind of a fluke? What if that was bullcrap and kind of fake? Huh? Well, guess what happened? He went back to being who he is, which is a pile of crap. Tremaine Edmonds is a bad linebacker. He sucks. All right? So look at Jalen Johnson. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he's going to continue to be amazing. Or maybe the fact that he had 4 picks for the first time in his career, he has 1 in the last 3 years, maybe that was kind of fluky. Maybe he did this, got really good because it's a contract year, got all that money, and is going to go back to being what he has been his entire career. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he just turned a massive corner. He was bad, and then he was bad, and then he was bad, and then he's elite, and he just stays elite, and he's going to be the number 1 corner for the rest of eternity, although that's probably not going to happen. But you know what? The Bears don't learn. They learn nothing ever. What was it, 2018? Let's take a look here. Just real quick, one more. Eddie Jackson, here's our guy, right? So here's the Chicago Bears in all their brilliance. So here he is as a rookie. Not great, right? But then, boom, right here, 93.2. And after that season, they're like, give him all of our money. He's amazing. We got to lock him up. Look at this. Bull crap, bull crap, bull crap. Hey, he's pretty good. Bull crap. And then they had to cut him. The Bears don't freaking learn. They never learn. This is why they suck. This is why they're stupid. This is why their franchise is garbage. This is why they can't get anything right. They're the biggest freaking joke ever. Snacks, thanks for calling in. Nico, what's going on?
Okay, just finishing up with the After Dark tonight. Just so you know, Ryan, I wrote a song in the car the other day.
Let's do it. Give it to me.
I just haven't had time to record it.
No.
Last time I did a song, I did it live, and it was absolutely horrible. I couldn't even understand what I was saying.
Do it.
So I'm trying to find an app where I can record the guitar, then the vocals, and send it in. It'll be very poignant and about current topics. Anyways.
Okay.
We're talking about running.
So you're not going to sing.
Running and stuff. Who's going to wear tights? That would be me. I would wear tights.
Nico's going to wear tights.
So just to let you know, I'm a 53-year-old man.
Nico is going to show up in tights and a cigar. That's what he's going to do. He's going to come in like this with a big old cigar and a little glass of scotch. It's going to be amazing.
I'm bald and I got a huge beard. But
bald.
That would look pretty good in tights, I think. I don't own tights.
Well, you got to get some.
But if we're training for the 40-yard dash,
tights.
Then, we just go out to the little field right by Lambeau, and we just, boom, there we go.
Yep.
When I was in my younger days, I ran a 4.5, which is pretty good for, playing white boy.
Yeah, not bad.
I was a little skinnier, but, hey, that skinny is a mindset, right? And even though I
don't think that's how that works.
Blew my patella tendon when I was 30, that sucked. Good one.
I love that this is how we start making excuses. It's like, back in my day, I ran a 4.5, but, I tore my ACL, I played college ball, freaking snapped my spine. It's a miracle that I'm even walking right now. So I don't know, but I'll try it. I'll do the freaking 40, but I just want you to know, like, I'm basically crippled. Like, it's I don't even know how I'm standing right now. Basically, this is, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know science or math or whatever, but I'm on the verge of death at this moment, so we'll see how she goes.
For quite a while. It was really grotesque. My size went from like a 30 to like a 10.
Yeah.
It was horrible how shrunken my left leg became. But I would think, I don't know, I could probably at least run like a 6, which for a 53-year-old fat dude, I'm thinking that's pretty dang good. So, all right, so I'm wearing tights. I'm coming to the. Are we doing this on the whatchamacallit during the draft when it's in Green Bay?
I hate that you guys are taking this so serious now. Like, this has become a real thing. I feel like we've crossed the threshold into, like, if I back out, I'm losing everybody. Like, that's a shameful act, and I'm upset that I got myself into this at this point. I don't know. I need to learn to shut up.
Okay, if we do the running and stuff in tights and not the fighting, I guess that's okay. So no fighting. So ixnay on the Idings day. No fighting, but running in tights. Wait, is everyone wearing tights or just me? I don't know. I've lost track already.
I don't know. We'll get some Packernet tights and we'll all wear them.
I'm down. Now I gotta get a hotel and stuff. All right, anyways. All right, so I'll make a list. Gotta train for the 40. Probably lose some weight.
Yep.
I gotta probably get some shoes too. Anyways, okay. I was just sidebarring. So yeah,
you can make your list another time.
On the draft, no more death fighting, but yes to running in tights. I think, you know what? I think if you wear tights, you should get like a 0.5 second bonus. I don't know, just saying, because trying to help myself out.
Aerodynamic.
Hey, go Becco and men in tights.
Yeah. No, it's going to be dope. I think we should wear tights, to be honest. I think it's just got to be a thing. Just get some tights going. You kind of get your stretches, however you do that. I'll check. I'll see if they have tights options to sell, and we'll do some Packernet tights. And I'll be training outside. Like I said, on my street, I'll be wearing my tights. Neighbors already don't like me, so I don't give a crap. Too old for this says, hey, now songs on PAD and everything. That's what I'm saying, man. We've had people call in, and they've written ballads, man. They got their guitars. We got some great people here. If you're a musician, or even if you're not, please feel free to call in. We'll play your stuff. Donald Krieger says, I identify as skinny. Again, I don't think that works. I don't know. I'll try it. I'll try identifying as skinny and see, like, if I can convince my scale to stop being a freaking jerk off about stuff. But I don't think it's going to listen. It's pretty strict about the rules of, gravity and mass and all that stuff. Garrett Stritzel says, whenever I'm about to do something, I think, what would an idiot do? And if they would, I don't do that thing, Ryan Pohl, or I do that thing. Yeah, exactly. I love the offense references. Garrett Stritzel, I ran a 4.5 in 1985 in high school. That was a year before I was born, so I don't think whatever. Too old for this says tights increase. That's what I'm saying. It increases aerodynamics. You're just like flowing with the wind, man. It's almost like it's pushing you from behind. Not in a weird way or anything. It's just science. Jake says I'm losing track by the second. I don't know what's going on. I imagine Ryan running like Dwight's cousin Mose. Yes, I should do that, dude. If I ran faster than you doing the Mose run, I think we should all do the Mose run. Like, we could do it for real, and then we got to, like, time our Mose run, you know? Like, high knees and, like, back. I think we should try it. All right, Nico number 2.
Oh, just so you know.
I do know.
Because I just listened to the last 3 minutes of the podcast.
You can know everything.
When you play the song, the closing song, I don't know if I'm the only one. But when that song hits, I got some boogie.
Right? It's a good jam.
I don't know, where'd you get that thing? Would you just go to like podcast ending songs and just click one? But when I'm driving, I don't do it. But if I'm standing, then the end of the podcast song comes on, I get up and I kind of shake it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, just me.
I do know.
But all right, so I'll try to record that song.
Hold up, I'm gonna see if I can
tomorrow. It might not be till Sunday because I'm off on Sunday.
It's called I Know Karate.
But yeah, so I think you'll like it.
Where is it?
Good song. It's got modern stuff
You don't know what you're talking
and stuff. So yeah, all right. So go pack up.
Hold up. See if I can find it. I Know Karate. Is this it? Yeah. Freaking party. Let's go. Pedro, what's up?
Hey, Ryan, it's me, Pedro the Red from Brazil, man.
Love your accent,
so,
dude.
I want to talk about free agency.
Look at Eddie Jackson.
I know
She
we're
sucks.
talking a lot about that, and maybe some people are getting a little pissed.
Oh,
but
you know what else we could look at?
I'm not. And I want to say that I'm really happy with how the Packers situation here on a free agency, because we just got a defensive coordinator that usually works with secondary, and we, as Packer fans, know that we need some pieces in the secondary, like safeties and corners, and but the free agency is getting pretty nice for the Packers, since we have a bunch of safeties in the market that will bring the price down, and I do think we have some talented guys there. Maybe they're a little up in age and stuff, but you know what? I really trust Brian Gutekunst, and with a defensive mind that's a secondary expert, I do believe that we are going to hit that just like we hit it with Darius and Preston when we had a defensive line coach, and like we hit with Devondre Campbell when we had a linebacker coach. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think that that's going to be a pretty good free agency, and with that, maybe we don't have to. I will still do it, just to be clear, but maybe we don't have to draft a safety at the first 2 rounds. So, yeah, maybe we will have like a tackle or a corner after all. And that's about it. I want to know what you think about it. So, talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Vote for Pedro. I should put up a vote, and it's just Pedro, yes or no. Vote for Pedro. It's funny, we talk about the draft and how Brian Gutekunst always does what we don't expect. The free agency is similar, right? We have our list of guys, and it's like, okay, these 5 are dope, right? Get one of these guys or one of those guys or whatever. Like, here's my list. And he's going to go grab a couple guys. It's like, what are you doing? And then you end up getting unbelievable production from these guys. Zadarius, I had no reason to pay him as much money as we paid him, and he far exceeded his contract. Rasul Douglas, the guy was not very good at football, just generally speaking. He comes here, he's a stud. Devondre Campbell, same thing. I'm looking at his grades and stuff. It's like, what is this garbage? Why would you pick him up? And then he comes here and everything changes. So, yeah, I mean, it's you got to trust the I'm also just excited about Halfley because you know it's Gutekunst, but at the same time, Hafley's the guy going in saying, I need this guy, this guy, this guy, and Gutekunst is going to identify, in his staff, they're going to identify guys that have those characteristics. So when I first hear Packers have signed, it's going to be like, oh, what the heck? What are you doing, man? I gave you the list. Did you not get it? Like Aaron Rodgers' list. I made a list. Okay, and I have a podcast, and I'm very public about my list, and you didn't pick somebody from my list, and I know you listen, and I'm ticked off about it a little bit. But then when it settles in, it's like, bro, they got their guy. You know what I mean? Like, Hafley's sitting there, and he picked his guy, essentially, or Gutekunst, they came together, and they found the guy that's going to fit the scheme, and it's just going to make everything perfect, and it's like, oh, dude, I don't understand it, right? I don't know the way that this is all going to work out, but they've identified a guy that fits his scheme the best out of everybody here, right? So you got your whole list, these 5 guys, and Gutekunst's like, no, trust me, this guy over these guys. So that's, and same with the draft. I always look at it and it's like, how could you be so stupid when you got all these guys available? And then you think, Gutekunst knows how good those guys are. And he's saying this guy's better. He could be wrong, but when you think about it in those terms, it's like, that's freaking exciting for sure. Donald says, I'm digging the late night stream. Me too, man. Like I said, I'm just in a freaking mood today. I don't know why. I'm staying up. I'm going to do a stream. I'm tempted to do like a mock draft after this. It'll be like the regular Packernet. And like I said, I'm not even going to upload it because, you know what? If you're not subscribed to my YouTube, if you're not checking me out on Twitter, then that's a you problem, not a me problem. By the way, what is going on with the X thing? Because there's a lot of people listening, 0 comments. Is it just like one of those things you can put on your phone and listen like a podcast, like a live stream? And you don't want to pop out your phone? Because I even tested it. I'm like, does this even work? It does. I don't know. I'm just confused as to how. I don't really understand the functionality of that. Right. 2021, Brian Gutekunst is the worst, says Jake Shavink. Too old for this, and all my wildest dreams came true. I don't know what we're talking about. What, am I the only one here who hasn't ever had their 40 time? No, I haven't either, Donald. I don't understand how people are like, oh yeah, I ran like a 4.7. Like, I had to do a mile. I think I did a mile, and I don't know what it was. It was fine. I'm too proud to not almost kill myself. So my mile was actually a pretty good time. Jake Shaving, 2024. I trust Goody to do all of it right. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying here, Jake. You're right. Back in the day, it was like, frickin' this guy is going to mess everything up. He's a bum. Now in 2024, we're like, this guy's a genius. He's going to nail it. I don't even care what he does. Garrett says, I am fast. To give you a reference, I'm somewhere between a snake and a mongoose and a panther. You guys shut up. Too old for this, says, sleep. We don't need no stinking sleep. All right, who we got next on the line? You know what? Why don't we take our final break? We'll come back, and we'll hear from Garrett in Southern Illinois. Nothing more like you get excited about it, Like, we're going to hear from Garrett in Southern Illinois. Sorry, Garrett, it's just not the most exciting, like, name or location. Anyways, we'll be right back. I'm so stupid because I just realized I'm not uploading this, so there's no ads. Whatever, shut up.
Okay, so I have a mock draft.
Yes.
Hypothetical.
Do it.
Would you draft?
Would you rather?
Brooks, running back.
Brooks.
And with your second round pick.
Second round pick.
Or if you could trade one of the 3rd round picks to get Algier from the Falcons.
Yeah.
Which one would you do in order to secure a running back?
That's it? That's the whole... How do you spell his name? Tyler Algier, right? What the heck? Algier? Okay. Whatever. I'd have to look him up, and this is live, so I don't want to have to do that. I mean, I'm always leaning toward the draft prospect. I don't know how old Algier is. If we can get him for a 3rd, it doesn't feel that promising. I know he's a good running back, but they have Bijan, so maybe they would move him. And it's a proven commodity, but I get excited about guys like Brooks, and I love the upside, and I would rather... I mean, it's tough because it's like, okay, but it's We're talking about second round compared to third round. Just draft the running back. Let's not be complicated with it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Jake wants Algier. Jake wants Brooks. Oh, is that how you spell it? A-L-L? That's why. Let's look real quick. A-L-L-G. Ah ha ha, Jake, you son of a gun. 5'11", 220. That's a goot-looking guy right there. Oof, that is pretty, man. Would they give him up for a third, though? That's my question. I feel like we're stacking it a little bit. You got a 24-year-old that's kind of killing it, although 3.7 yards per attempt is kind of trash. It's mostly just these two games that kind of fudged the numbers a little bit. Let's just go Brooks, man. Let's just draft the guy. You know what I mean? Comments, what are you thinking? Stinking? Okay, thanks, Joel, for this. Brian Gutekunst doesn't draft on need. He will fill any gaps in free agents, so he doesn't need to reach in the draft. That's my whole thing on it. It's just make sure that, let's just pretend the draft doesn't even exist. Patch all your holes so that you're ready to play football. Okay? Now we're good. We don't need the draft. But then the draft comes in and it's all just extra. Right? So you draft the best player available. So, and that's the biggest thing going into free agency. We need to identify, like, where are the areas where it's like, we can't play with this. And I think linebacker and safety right now are those two. Garrett says, blink once if you want me to pull the plug. I'm asking about running backs. What the heck are you talking about here? Russell Wilson to the Steelers per Shefty. Really? That's official, huh? Let me see if I can pull that up. Anybody? Where's my notifications? Anybody? All bullcrap. Here we go. Okay, we'll use this BS account. Everybody gets mad at me because they're like, stop retweeting NFL rums. It's like, he's right there. He's the one that I see when I go through. I mean, I'm sorry that's what I find when I'm going through here. Breaking, Pittsburgh Steelers are signing Russell Wilson. I love that. Because this thing with Justin Fields is making me so happy. I'm sorry. I know I'm petty. I really am. I get that. That's a me thing. I'm trying to work through it. Maybe I'll talk to somebody. If anybody on here wants to be my therapist, we'll see what we can figure out. But it's just like nobody wants the freaking guy. Like you're taking Russell Wilson. The guy's like a freaking weirdo. Your teammates are going to hate him. He's not very good at football right now. But I guess he is basically free. So, I mean, I guess that's cool. But anyways, yeah, that's official. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. What else we got going on in the old comments here? Don't pull anything, Dwight. Okay. Why don't you care for Powers Johnson? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky. There were a couple guys that I saw. Who was the guy that I really liked? Anybody remember who that was? Got so many tabs open here. The guy, Zach Frazier, I think was kind of my guy. So my only issue with Jackson Powers Johnson is he's almost too big, and I know that sounds stupid. It's like, why wouldn't you want this big muscle man in the middle? But a lot of safeties now are getting kind of smaller, and they're very fast and they're very agile. And, being able to get up really fast to that next level, Zach Frazier, in my mind, just dominated that. And Powers Johnson he's just a bulldozer, which, again, is freaking awesome. And I think the Eagles should draft him because they need to be able to do the tush-push, and he would be fantastic. And they should just continue that. If we get Jackson Powers Johnson, that's cool. I mean, part of the issue is I don't really want to take an interior guy at pick 25. That's a little early for that position when we can get other guys. But on top of that, I feel like he's really good at 60% of his job, and just is useless in the other 40%. So I guess that's kind of my issue, and I'm probably wrong about that. I don't see him being very mobile. He's just too big and clunky. Too old for this says I'd rather invest a draft pick in a draft pick, not in a trade. Yeah, I agree. I'm asking because Algier is proven over potential. No, and I get, and that's the thing. He's young, he's proven, and it's a later pick. So, I mean, it feels like it's a stupid thing to use your second-round pick on an unknown commodity. But I don't know, man. I'm in that Packers mindset of, like, we're not trading our picks even though we're using. I don't know. It's just, let's not complicate it. Just freaking draft a guy. Jake says, I feel like Brooks is more flexible, fluid as a runner. I love Brooks, man. I really do. I think he's fantastic. Do the Jags want to reunite the whole 2021 class? Yes. Russell Wilson does have a sandwich at Subway. Be careful, though. It's spicy. He's such a goofball, man. It's like, I don't want to be, like a lot of guys are like locker room cancers and they're D-bags and you want to just pile on them. And it's like, I feel like Russell Wilson's trying so hard to be like a really nice guy and like really motivating, and he wants to be a good example, but it's like he's such a cheesy clown. It's like, dude, shut up, man. You're so freaking full of yourself and goofy. Bears can trade Fields to a UFL team. Oh, if that, I would, I would be rough to handle if that happened. Craig, what's going on?
Hey, Ryan, it's Craig from Indiana.
What's up?
Thought I'd call in, talk a little bit draft. Been doing lots of mock drafts for
Let's do it.
the last few weeks. Been listening to you and some other podcasts about the drafts. I know a lot of people are doing their mocks, and things are constantly changing. But wanted to throw up a couple scenarios that have kind of sometimes faced me. Well, and I know there's a good chance you covered this, but and if you say, hey, Craig, you just should take better notes and don't bother me with this stuff, I'll understand. But let's say we're at pick 25, and we are positive that we want to do something with our offensive line to shore it up, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities. And you're faced, the guys who are still on the board are Powers Johnson and Latham, Mims, Fontenot, Barton, and Guyton. What would your kind of preference order be of who you would draft at 25 with them on the board? Are there any that you absolutely wouldn't take there? I do notice in some of my mocks that Barton and Guyton often are available at 41, so I'm guessing those might be the two that might not be picked there. So let me know your thoughts on there. The second scenario is we're at 25.
Hold on a second.
And
all right, so I'm trying to remember everybody that you said. I think I know my answer here. I'm just looking at my notes for some of these guys. I think the highest guys. So I actually have Jackson Powers Johnson second on my list ahead of Barton, but Barton is very intriguing. The hard part is he played tackle, and so you're kind of trying to gauge, like he kind of struggled with some of the speedier guys or whatever, but it's like, okay, you're going to move inside, so you're not going to be dealing with that as much, so he'll probably be a much better interior guy. The tough part is, when you're going for value, I always want to lean tackle, and I do like Fontenot. I thought he was a really good tackle. But then you're looking at it like, well, how much do we need to tackle? We need interior more. So it's a tough balancing act where it's like you want to go for the value, but then there's a need sitting there. And then there's also, maybe Powers Johnson or Graham Barton are a better player than Fontenot, and you want to go for the better player. But I don't know, man. I'm leaning Fontenot. I just like him as a player, and I think we're going to need him. And again, I know we've got some guys at tackle that everybody likes, but they're not Bakhtiari. And if you have an opportunity to get a tackle that's a truly premier player, and we've got a lot of flexible guys. If he really is that good, maybe you can kick Tom inside or whatever. Figure it out. I don't know, but just draft the best player. And if we have to go offensive line, I probably lean Fontenot. I do have my note for Jackson Powers Johnson is Moose. I mean, he's so fun to watch. He really is. As far as just straight up like man-on-man run blocking, man-on-man pass blocking, he's just a stud. I just worry about that second level stuff a little bit, but outside of that, he's an absolute monster. And it's they don't ask him to do it a lot, so I don't get to see it. Maybe if you could slice up those instances where he's asked to do it, you might be able to see, yes, he can. And if I see him doing that, getting to that next, it's game over. I love the guy. But that's just a slight concern. It's kind of like Justin Jefferson, right? I loved Justin Jefferson. The problem was he was like a slot guy, and I never really saw him like get down the field. And I was worried about that. Like, can you translate? Because him off the line, I was like, that's Devontae. Like, he looks like Devontae. But I kind of was just like, I don't know. It's like an incomplete grade. I can't see him doing the one thing, so I don't know. Turns out he's really good at that thing, so it wasn't a concern. And so it's like, if I had known that, I would have been much more in on him, and that could be Jackson Powers Johnson. But I guess to answer your question, I'm just going to go with Fontenot because I like Fontenot.
A week before the draft, Gary and Preston Smith both pull a B.J. Raji and decide to retire. And now we're kind of hurting at the edge position. So
I would say
25,
Rashawn retires.
Have the opportunity for Chop Robinson. Latu is at 25, and so is Verse. Let me know who you would pick, in what order. And I'll do one more at scenario 25. Which
all right, hold on. I would be Chop Robinson. I mean, I honestly Braylon Trice, but I don't think you listed him. Chop Robinson would be ahead of Verse in my mind. I know that's not what most people feel. I wasn't as high on Jared Verse. Even in my notes, I said he kind of reminds me of Braylon Trice, just not as effective as him. So, I'm big time fan of Chop Robinson. My note starts with Chop Robinson, obsessed. He's amazing. So, very, very excited about him. My notes are very unprofessional. Braylon Trice just says all the way in, period, perfect, lock it down, it's over. Those are literally my notes for Braylon Trice. So, those are my two guys, Braylon Trice and Chop Robinson. I mean, if we get Braylon like in the second round, I'm gonna fall to my knees and cry right in front of the frickin' camera. All right, what's the final one we got for me?
again seems to pop up sometimes is that we want to shore up our secondary.
Yes.
And
give me Kool-Aid.
DeJean's is available. Wiggins and McKinstry are all available at 25. I know you've talked this before, but which of those would you pick first, second, or third, or any of those you absolutely wouldn't take at 25? So I'll just leave it at that. I did have another quick question about podcasts in general, and maybe you can help educate me or the audience. I didn't know how it works as far as kind of the tracking or statistics for you. Sure. If as I'm listening, I'm on a higher speed, does that affect anything as far as viewership or, again, I don't know how they do ratings or anything. Do they even know? Do they care? If you hit a podcast and say mark as played, does the podcast?
Oop, you got cut off. All right, so secondary's tough. I think Cooper DeJean is probably the right answer. I'd have to go back. I don't know why. I think I ranked him on a different thing or whatever. I don't know. We got to go through it again. I just remember I watched Kool-Aid and I was really excited. But Cooper DeJean just feels like the right answer to me. He does some pretty special stuff. I'm excited to go back and watch again. Same with wide receiver. I did it such a long time ago. I barely remember these guys. I talk about them, but the way I talk about them reflects more of like how other people talk more than like my own opinions because I forgot. But all right, so what were you asking about the tracking? So basically, I think as far as so they've got these standards. I forget what they're called. Is it listed here? I don't know, but there's certain standards, OPM, DL, whatever standards that you have to abide by to be like officially whatever, right? Tracked. And so there's I think it's just a certain amount of time that somebody has to listen, and it's counted as a listen. And I believe like if you get off and come back on and listen, it's like another one. I don't really know. It's something like that. But that's basically it. There's also, for example, unique listens. So if I have 30 listens in a month, let's just say, I mean, obviously that's not the number, but it's just one guy listening every day, then there's 30 downloads and one unique listener is what it would be. So, for example, what do we have here? This past month, we have 125,579 downloads, and then unique downloads is 24,391. So, here, I'll show you the dashboard here. This is what I'm dealing with. So here is how many downloads. Here is how many unique downloads. These are the whatever. So that's basically it. I'm not sure what else. I mean, as far as the speed you listen, I don't think that matters. It may affect, I don't know about the ads. I don't know if you like skip, if that's going to be a problem. Maybe you have to listen for a certain period of time. Not really sure how that works. I would just appreciate it if you just kind of let that power through, just for the sake of things, I guess. Let's see. Jake says, "Can we call in?" So it's just a voicemail. One of these days, I'll make it so that you can actually call in. But the last time I did that, people would call in thinking they're going to leave a message, and I answer, and they're like, "What the heck is going on here?" But absolutely, here. Let me put up the old banner. 608-501-0718 is the number to call. Just call in, leave a message, and we'll get to it. In fact, we only have 12 calls, so maybe by tomorrow or something I'll hear it. So just call in. He's not talking live calls, just voicemails. Yeah, and again, one of these days I'll do it. Like, we're getting a lot more listeners here, so one of these days we'll open the phone lines. But I just want to make sure everybody knows, so there's not those awkward, like, oh, hey, I didn't expect you to answer. Jake Chavink says Fontainebleau. All right, we're on the same. Jake, can you do me a favor? I like getting your validation, or just tell me I'm an idiot either way, because you're better at this than me. Am I wrong about Eichenberg and Jalen Ford? I know, like, I'm sure you have other guys that you like or whatever, but I don't know what it is. I just saw them and I was like, these are my guys for sure. So I don't know your thoughts on them. Maybe you hate them. I'm just curious. Ryan should share on X that the St. Louis Battlehawks are preparing to trade for Fields. I should do that. I did that once before. I forgot what it was. And I think I even said it on here live because I wanted it to be like, I want everybody to know, like, I'm going to do something. It's going to be fake news. And it actually blew up. Like, what's his name? The guy for the Denver Broncos, Benjamin Albright. He's like an actual insider, and he's like the number one anti-fake news guy. So he goes around, he's like, this is fake, whatever. He like retweeted it. He's like, it's fake, all that stuff. And everybody got super pissed at me. But it blew up. I forgot what it was. I should do that again. I should just be... People get really ticked off when you do that, though. It's like, I was joking around, dude. I just thought it would be funny. I don't know, man. Yeah, I had some really angry messages when I did that, but anyways. Let me know. You know what? We should do a... I wonder if I can do this fast enough. What is the thing? Streamlabs. I want to do a poll. And I want to know... if you guys think I should, I don't know if we're going to have time to do it now. I don't want you to stare at me while I try to figure out how to freaking do this. All right, let's do a call, and Craig's second call while I try to set this up.
Sorry, I should have had a timer going. This is Craig again. I'll just finish my questions about podcasts in general. If I hit marked as played, again, I didn't know if the podcaster gets credit, if you will, that podcast was listened to, or is that viewed differently?
No, so I mean, like, if you just go in and do the check marked as played, no, because I think what's happening is that the audio file is sent somewhere, and then when you pull it, so here's what if you really want to help me, here's one of the top things you can do, and it's up to you whether you want to do it or not, but I know on some of these, I don't know if iTunes or whatever does this, but you have the ability to, like, automatically download. Like, whenever there's an upload, you just download it to your phone immediately, whether you listen or not. It doesn't matter if you listen to it at that point because you've downloaded it. Once you download it, you pull the entire thing from there because that's what it's monitoring, is you're pulling it, right? So, if you're doing it live, it's slowly pulling, and if you stop it, it's like, okay, you didn't pull enough. But if you auto-download, boom, the whole thing goes in there. So these are, whether you never listen again, if you're downloading every single day, I get credit for all that. So that would be cool because I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I don't know, but do it anyways because obviously once it's on your phone and you listen, they can't really track it, but they're like, well, he downloaded it, so there you go. So listen.
Also, if one was to forward through commercials,
right,
is that also tracked or not tracked? I didn't know if
I don't know.
The people paying for the commercials know that their stuff is being listened to, or just forward.
And it's not even whether or not they would know and then be like, I'm not paying for that, because there's way too much to track. But there would have to be an auto tracking thing. And again, like so I tell it, like, I want 4 ads in this spot if they're available. And they just fill it if it's there. If it's not, sometimes, there's like, let's take a break. And then there's just a long pause and the thing starts up again because there's no ads. But I don't know if it's the same thing where it's like, okay, it didn't listen to the ad, so we're not going to count that. I'm not really sure how that works. I could ask.
Put it through. I just don't know enough about technology to know how that works.
I don't know either.
And it's all about you, Ryan. I want to make sure we're taking care of you as best we can. So whatever helps you out the best, I'll adjust.
My man.
All right. That's all I had. Take care. Bye.
No, you take care. All right. What do we got here? If Gary and Preston retire, give me the Latu Nyland combo. Yeah, I can't get in the. I don't know. Somebody's got to tell me what to look for with Latu. Like, just give me the elevator pitch for Latu, so when I go back in, I can see it and get excited about it. Because I couldn't get there, man. He's too Frankensteiny. If Rashawn retired, he would have no idea what to do with his life. All he does is work. Well, he just run in circles and lift tires all day. Go Cheeseheads, says Moon Noom. Wait, what? It's getting to be that late part of time where like I just start geeking out and laughing all crazy. Moon Noom. That is super fun to say, and I don't know why. Moon Noom. I love that. I'm in with you on Ford. Need to get Eichenberg's full eval done. All right, well, let me know. Announced that the Vikings are bringing back Kirk for 2 years, $102 million guaranteed. Pedro, I have it set for auto download, but also skip every ad. Well, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Garrett Stritzel says, in the end, the greatest snowball isn't a snowball at all. It's fear. That's a good call. So we'll do it maybe next time. In fact, would you guys come back if I shut this down, get a graphic, fire it back up, and we do like a mock draft? Would you hang out with me, or you guys want to go to bed? You bunch of bums. Let me know in the comments real quick, because I'm torn on what I want to do. I don't really want to go to bed. I'm still kind of wired up. I don't know why. But I mean, I'll sit here and play friggin'. I got this guy going here. Like I'll rock out. So you let me know what you want to do. What do we got going on here? Mock draft season. Jake says yes. All right. Jake's in. All right. Why don't we do that? I was gonna do it anyways. I was just waiting for one person to say yes. And that'll be so. Here's the deal. This is Packernet After Dark. There will be no Packernet After Dark uploaded. And then the 7-round mock draft for the Packers that we're going to do. I was thinking about maybe doing a first-round mock, but I don't know. That's too much work. I got to pull up all their different stuff, and most of you are Packer fans, and you don't really care about sitting for 5 minutes figuring out what the Giants should do. So that mock will be the Packernet show, which will not be uploaded. So if you're hanging out with me tonight, you get 2 Packernet shows. Everybody else is a loser, and they get nothing from me, ever. Unless they can just listen on their phone like later, which is entirely possible. But I'm getting out of here. You got to give me some time. I got to get graphics and everything else set up. But come hang out, man. We'll do a mock draft. Talk to you later.